apprentice. You survived. I am proud of you indeed. The deaths of the Jedi below linger upon you like a thick pall. It is sweet to me. You have truly proven yourself as a Sith Lord. Wallow in your first taste of blood against our enemy. And rest. Recover your strength. While you do, I shall give another lesson. We have spoken much of destiny, and studied many figures around whom destiny has swirled. You have learned how to read its flows, but now it is time to learn of one who can help to illustrate to you the power of choice. Today, we shall study the Banite Dark Lord, Darth Vectivus. Unlocking file, Darth Vectivus, the Free. Processing. The man who would become Darth Vectivus was born sometime prior to 40 ABY, a human male, though his true name is unknown to me. He lived a normal life and became a shrewd businessman. He was an intelligent individual, naturally curious, and he developed a code of ethics by which he lived his life. This code of ethics would serve him well, and eventually he would come to find himself the administrator of Jonex Mine 811B, a mining facility in a system near Bimiel. He would live there among his employees, but unbeknownst to him, the asteroid was a nexus of dark side energy. An ancient race had once lived within the planetoid, and their presence had infused the area with the Bogon. Over time, this aura began to erode the sanity of Vectivus employees. They began to act oddly, and the Force-sensitive among them began to report visions, nightmares, and strange abilities. Vectivus himself was strong in the Force, and he too noticed this phenomenon. Again, he was extremely intelligent, and he realized right away something strange was at work. Something which required further study. He suppressed reports of strange happenings within the asteroid and shut down mining operations there, focusing them instead in other areas of the asteroid field. He devoted himself to experimentation within the darkness of the mines, and he began to unravel the mysteries of the Force there. He discovered that his emotions could fuel his power, and he became strong indeed in the dark side. He even managed to develop new Force techniques, which we will discuss shortly. Eventually, Vectivus would learn of the Sith. He would seek them out to further his knowledge, and he would find them. Vectivus would train to true mastery in the dark side of the Force, in the way of the Sith, though records are incomplete as to whom his master was. The Sith were governed by the Sith rule of two at the time, the system established by the infamous Darth Bane. This meant that there was only one other Sith Lord, and upon completing his training, Vectivus must have slain him. This is our way, and it is one Vectivus chose to adhere to. Vectivus was a man of strong ethics. with a finely honed moral code, as I have said. This code had served him well in business, and he did not let go of it when he ascended to the role of Dark Lord. He was never ruled by Bane's crusade against the Jedi, and never once did he seek to conquer the galaxy. He wished only to run his business, to study the Sith and the galaxy at large. He sought to learn as much as he could, and as a result, he was a man who controlled his own destiny, who realized that through mental effort, introspection, and with the garnering of power, our choices alone could come to affect the course of our lives. We could be free from the whims of destiny. Eventually, he would return to his home aboard the asteroid. He would build a mansion there, which he would simply dub the Home. The Dark Lord would remain there until the end of his days, immersed in the dark side, and surrounded by his friends and family. Though the nature of his death is unknown, the most accurate sources I could find seem to suggest he died of old age, a rare accomplishment for a Sith. What can be learned of Vectivus, especially when so little is known of him? It is true, the records in his regard are spotty, but such was the strength of his will that even here there is still much to be learned. The main lesson, my apprentice, is that of choice. Vectivus chose his own route in life always. His mind was strong, even before he became Sith, and because of this, he was able to subvert the destiny which followed such a title. He was able to lead his own life. Vectivus was a man of principle. Why? Because he chose to be. He was a man of immense intelligence, and this natural insight allowed him a certain amount of detachment. He understood that one needs principles in order to successfully guide oneself across the river of fate. He was able to recognize the taste of power when first he felt it aboard his asteroid, and he was able to see it for what he was, to choose to pursue it to its furthest extent. Indeed, he would garner so much power that his spirit would persist even after his death for centuries, until the final destruction of his home. The dark side can be a corrupting force, apprentice. Do not forget this. It is the price that one must pay if you wish to truly immerse yourself within the Bogon. It is a corruption that must be chosen. You must willingly embrace it. Vectivus wished for knowledge's sake. He wished to know the galaxy and to pursue the things important to him. These things just happened to be his business and his family and friends. Because of this, the full weight of the dark side's corruptive effect never placed a hand on Vectivus. He was indeed a true follower of the dark side, a true Sith Lord, but he was never pulled further into the Bogon than he chose to be. To garner so much power, to be able to stave off the negative consequences that come with it, is an extreme showing of strength. Do not underestimate the price the Bogon can exact, my apprentice. It is not a path for the weak. Even the mightiest Sith Lords can easily succumb to the physical changes which accompany deep knowledge of the dark side. To walk it and avoid paying this price it is an accomplishment any Sith Lord should be envious of. And it shows us the power inherent in choice. Only Vectivus' own choices, primarily his choice to adhere to his moral code above all else, was able to grant him the ability to dip into the Bogon for free. Vectivus, however, is a name almost lost to history, and this is something else that you must learn, apprentice. It was his strength and the knowledge he had gathered together which preserved his echo within the Force. Indeed, he became so knowledgeable and so strong that he created his own holocron, one whose secrets I applied. Vectivus was strong enough to create his own potent abilities in the Force, and I shall teach you of this ability. Vectivus learned how to create dark side phantoms. He plied deeply into the nature of life, played with the essence of those around him, and as he grew in power, he discovered that he could use the essence of other beings from throughout the galaxy to generate ghost-like Force projections. These phantoms could interact with the world, even kill. But if they were destroyed, the being the phantom was tied to would also die. A useful skill, and a rare one. Yet, strangely, not a difficult one to master with the right knowledge. With it, you can create an army of hundreds of phantoms, all bound to your will. The technique is contained within my databanks, copied over straight from the holocron of Vectivus itself. Learn it if you desire, my apprentice, and it can greatly increase your power. We also know that Vectivus must have trained an apprentice, as the Bainite line would continue after his death, eventually culminating in Lord Sidious, a being that we have studied before. Yet, we know not who Vectivus' apprentice was, only that Vectivus was able to walk a line that almost no other Sith has been able to walk. Never forget this. Vectivus only achieved meaning because of the power of choice. He approached the Sith as a curious outsider, as one who had already explored the Force with his own merits. Because of this, he was able to choose where and when to apply Sith philosophy within his life. He recognized the tool that the dark side was, the immense power and knowledge that it could bring him, and he committed himself to it. He willingly chose the Bogon. He understood that to willingly take it up, to achieve his preconceived goals, was the only way to gain any measure of control over it. And achieve his goals he did. He would become fabulously wealthy, richer than many in the galaxy could ever imagine. The dark side, the teachings of the Sith, they became tools which he could choose to pick up and use to conquer any obstacle before him. Vectivus' life is an anomaly, largely a mystery, which is difficult to unravel. But it is one which carries immense significance, nonetheless. His self-awareness, his ability to recognize the power that his choices had, allowed him to truly be free. It turned the Bogon from a corrupting and enslaving influence to something which he could use to improve the lives of his loved ones. Because of his awareness of the power of choice, Vectivus was truly free. For now, you must meditate on this, on the power of choice. You yourself have chosen to follow the lessons within this holocron. You have chosen to conquer every obstacle I have placed in your path. You have chosen to travel in my footsteps across the galaxy. And now, your deeds have begun to echo. As you gather strength, they shall echo more. But to control these echoes, to truly create ripples which can change the tides of fate, you must make a choice which Vectivus did not. You must fully commit yourself. Vectivus changed nothing. He enriched only himself. He did not further the goals of the Sith. He did not improve the galaxy around him. And while it can be admirable to enrich yourself, it is not the nature of true power. You must shift destiny itself in order to achieve true power, and this is something which can only be accomplished by understanding the power of choice. Vectivus can help you learn this. He chose a small life, meaningful to him, but to no others, and so his choice became manifest, and he is now an obscure corner in the history of the Sith. If you wish to know true power, to have your name ripple through the tides of the Force for all time, then you must choose this for yourself. Only when you understand the power of choice will you truly be free, and with freedom will come the strength to shift the weight of destiny. Fully embrace your deeds so far, apprentice. Revel in the bloodshed you have wrought on the moon below. You must desire to shape the galaxy, and you must choose power. Think upon all of this. Decide upon your goals. Decide upon how you wish to truly utilize your strength. For only then, when you have chosen the path forward, will you truly find the means to victory. Now, set course for Rusan. As you travel, meditate upon the lessons of Darth Vectivus. When you arrive, I shall unlock your next lightsaber lesson. Training in Form 5, Gemso. Until then, may the Force break your chains.